Welcome back to KLEAN Radio. Great night tonight. We've had Jack Grisham in the
and he's
studio.
Staying for the whole show.
And he's staying.
Yeah, I'm here.
He just finished writing An American Demon. You can get it on Amazon.com. I've read quite a bit of it, and it's a great book.
It's a great name.
Or you could go and get it at jackgrisham.com. jackgrisham.com.
Oh, great.
You get it from me, and I actually sign them and send them to you.
How cool is that?
It actually decreases the value. The resale value. It's nice.
And we're just joined in the studio by Mack Lindsay.
Hello.
Hello, Mack. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I have a new coloring book coming out. It's it's on the trials and tribulations of smoking speed and doing comedy.
It's a pop-up. Is it a pop-up book?
Yeah, it's pop-up coloring book.
Collage.
Yeah,
Lots
scratch
of collage.
and sniff. You can smell ether if you scratch it. It's a kid's book.
It actually comes with Jack's book.
Yes.
It's a
Companion.
right.
Companion.
Yeah, if you buy Jack's book today, you get Max.
He steals the addresses and mails you his kid's meth book.
Hey, I will say that, like, not to be old or whatever, but that whole speed thing tripped me out because when my kid was doing a lot of speed, like the light bulbs would be missing. I'm like, what's going on with the light bulbs, man? It's like they're smoking the stuff out of the bulbs. I'm thinking, what are they doing with the bulbs?
Yeah. This years ago, I was at a meeting and I heard somebody say they were smoking glass.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, you smoke glass, and by the end of 2 weeks, you're in a dark house because you've used all of the light bulbs.
I guess that now I really, honest to God, to this day, I didn't know what it meant, and I finally know what smoking glass means.
Yeah.
Hey, the only problem my parents ever had was, hey, how come we keep running out of Pam? What's going on? They keep shaking me. There's no Pam. Been whipping Pam all day.
Wow. So, Mack, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. This is great.
Yeah, we've been having fun. Have you been listening in the back?
Yeah, I've been listening to it. They're right there through the glass door, or the window.
So you're a comic, and you got a show coming up on the 23rd at the Belly Room at the Comedy Store?
Yeah, it's
Mack
Lindsay's Darkest Hour. It's kind of a showcase for, I would say, people that have been marginalized or aren't really allowed into the mainstream as far as comedy goes. You don't have to be edgy or dark or anything like that. It's just you push your own envelope, and you're not really what's taken as or considered to be comedy nowadays in most clubs.
Right, like I was just talking a lot about comedy the other day, and we were the person I was having a conversation with was talking about that. So much great comedy comes from anger, and from like darkness.
Yeah, sadness, darkness. I mean, unless you're like a wacky guy. I mean, even those people are really bitter.
Yeah, I can't think Carrot Top's got a few issues.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I mean,
he's got a certain darkness there.
Prosthetic boobs.
Yeah, he's got a few issues.
He's got all those muscles and all that plastic surgery. Yet every freckle he's kept, I have no idea. You could get those erased, dude. You don't really need those. You've got enough money.
That's great.
Even Gallagher, right? I mean, very dark.
I've met him, and he never shuts up.
I heard he's just on a comeback. That's what I heard.
No, he's not coming.
But there's more than one. Gallagher's done. Yeah, right. There are a bunch of Gallaghers.
Yeah, he had a brother. Gallagher, too. What's that?
Which one did you meet?
I met the original Gallagher.
They used to smash the watermelon,
He still has fruit stains on his shoes. He is not letting go of the dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
The funny thing is, the original Gallagher was actually born an hour later than the second Gallagher.
Really?
No.
We actually,
I don't know.
we actually have a call.
Good,
we have another call from Fullerton. We have Ben on the line. Ben?
Hey.
Welcome to KLEAN Radio.
Yeah, I got a friend that I think's got a problem. He's kind of delusional, and I think I could use your help.
Sure. Well, we've got a psychiatrist here.
And a few delusional people.
And a few delusional people. So, give us some insight into what's going on.
Well, he thinks the strike zone's actually 8 feet wide.
It's very cute, very cute.
For those that, how far should a strike zone be, do you think?
I don't know. I'm going anywhere. I mean, we'll make it nice for him and go 15 inches.
15 inches. Well, thank you, Rand. We appreciate it.
Yes.
We're here to help.
Yeah, thank you, Rand.
All right.
Have a great show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Rand, who works.
It's great to get a crank call from somebody.
From someone we know.
From somebody we know.
AM 830, and that was, of course, referring to Judah's inability to throw a baseball into the strike zone.
Yes.
Despite hours and hours of protests that he could.
And I still can do it. Off a mound in a lit stadium is a lot different than in a parking lot in cold weather.
Denial is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing.
Yes, it is. It is, but I like living in it, okay? I'm happier in denial.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say that? That's actually an interesting. I was actually talking to my therapist about this one time, that we use certain words these days, and they've become such a there's become such a faux pas on it. Is there anything wrong with being a little codependent?
No,
You're looking at me.
I'm looking at anybody.
I think being a lot codependent's great. I enjoy it.
That's where I used to
I
go
love
to get
being
dates.
It became such a word. Like
How
that
else do you
it's-
get the rent paid?
That's exactly right. But wanting to take care of somebody, would that be codependency?
I think, that word is really bantered around, and I'm actually reading the book now.
Codependent no more.
Finally, I'm getting around to it.
It was only written in '82.
Yeah.
Well, but,
But he hasn't seen the Great Santini yet.
That's true.
Yeah, I'd recommend Coda meetings if you want to date.
but
A good place to date.
I thought a detox was no.
I think the problem is when you are so tuned in to taking care of the other person that you're damaging yourself in some way.
When you love someone so much that it hurts.
When you begin to look like a hobo, you don't brush your teeth.
Right.
When she's pedicured and manicured.
Right.
Which is how my girlfriend is. She's a goddess, and I look like a hobo.
That's nice.
You wear it well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did that.
You
too.
and Charlie Sheen have the goddesses. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. Can we please just stop talking about Charlie Sheen?
Yeah,
Well, I think
Can
last
we
night he sort. I think last night he sort of.
Or last night he ruined it.
I think last night he sort of killed it.
He might have ended it for
He
himself.
might have ended it for himself. No, but I think we do use a lot of words. Like ego is not such a bad thing to have a healthy ego.
Well, you have to have one.
You have to have a healthy ego, but that word became, you say to somebody, in like the 12-step world, it's edging God out. And I'm like, no, it's just having a certain amount of confidence.
You talk about Freud and ego, Jason. You are a psychiatrist.
Ego is in common usage. We're talking about excessive narcissism, right?
Right.
Unhealthy narcissism. But there is healthy narcissism, and that is when you feel good about yourself in a realistic way, and that what you do is good, and there's.
So isn't that just self-esteem?
Healthy
So-
narcissism is
so-
when you wear a condom and masturbate.
That's healthy onanism.
That's safe. That's safe narcissism.
It's like after 11:30, we're not a family show anymore.
Right.
That was not a bad word. There was no bad words in any of that.
No, none at all.
Clinical
Right.
words. But so narcissism, it's a matter of, the words get thrown around, and you really have to be clear about what you're talking about.
Well, it's like we were talking a few weeks ago when you were on the air. It's he gave us the greatest answer. We were talking about drugs that people use, and whether it's the antipsychotics or the SSRIs or whatever they choose to call them. And he said, I don't know how they work.
That's great. That's good.
We have a crude idea, but when it gets down to it in a scientific way, we don't know.
That is but the most honest answer I've ever heard a psychiatrist say. As opposed to most psychiatrists will say, well, it hits the dopamine and then it hits the valve of the serotonin, and then you're good.
Yeah. So, what does the brain have to do with the mind? Well, the brain is the organ of the mind, but do we really know what's going on in the brain? I don't think so. And I wonder if we'll ever know. It's that complex.
What's amazing is I wonder how many people would go see you or go see the guy that they know is lying. Because, honestly, when you walk into most psychiatrists'
Well, people
office,
want simple answers.
Right.
Let's be honest. People want to be fixed, or they want to support what they're doing and get a blessing for it. Like, just write me a script. Let me feel better. Let's keep going.
I want to know you fully believe
Yeah, right.
that whatever I'm putting in my body is the cure.
Yeah, I just want to feel better.
Right.
I don't
Well,
really care.
people
And if
want
you-
to quick and eat. There have been a lot of fads in psychiatry, and they all boil down to one thing, and that is it's a quick and easy cure.
Like electroshock therapy.
Yeah, but
Very quick, very easy.
But at the end of the day, there's human beings don't just change overnight. No matter what you do.
No, but that's a very honest. I don't believe most therapists or most psychiatrists, when you walk into their office, are going to tell you that. What attracted me to my therapist when I walked into him was he said to me, "I'm not here to make you well. I'm just here to make you a little less messed up."
What attracted me to mine is he was free.
And I, right. But I couldn't
I'll
believe.
take whatever you want. It doesn't cost me anything. Give me the pills. Oh, whatever.
Do you feel that you get therapy when you're on stage?
No, not at all. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, that's like a common thing that
That's
know comics will say. They're like, "This is just like free therapy." Well, then stop doing performing. I mean, don't sit there and vent and dump. I mean, I don't really find it therapeutic. I think it actually feeds my ego more than anything else, because it's like I'm sitting there to get attention from you, and for you to applaud me and say, "Oh, that was so funny," and that was just so great. Which, when you do that and I get adulation, you pat me on my back, it's not so much like therapy so much as it's like, yeah, go on, keep doing this. Because comedy's kind of self-destructive.
Right.
I mean, unless you have like the right kind of mind for it, where it's like, oh, I can handle people not liking me. But my entire attitude for the day can hinge upon the fact of whether or not an audience that I could really care less if they like me or not in real life. I'm never really going to hang out with them, whether they like me or not. Most of the people in the audience I look at, I consider them my enemy, because I don't really enjoy the same kind of things that they like to laugh at usually.
Do you think comedy is harder in today's day and age? I know we have to go to a break in a second, but is it harder in today's day and age where everything is filmed? In the old days, like, if you had a bad set,
right,
it probably wouldn't be on YouTube that night. So you could sort of just bury it as a bad set. Now every bad set stays with you.
I don't know how to answer that, because on one hand you have a really good point. Then on the other hand, you can put something that people in a comedy club who come there with the expectation of what they're supposed to see in a comedy club, and them not liking it, and it's on film and then put on YouTube, and then people that don't like comedy but still like to laugh, which there are a lot of those out there, will look at it and go, "No, I like this guy, I'll go see him." So you can actually stand to build a following by having a bad set. If you're doing what you do, and there are people that find it funny, it doesn't necessarily matter if the people that were there when it was filmed liked it or not.
Tell us a little bit about like what it was like. I mean, how long have you been sober, if you don't mind asking?
5 years.
5 years.
A little over 5 years.
And what led to you getting sober? Was it?
Well, I was just having a really good day, and said I think I'll make it better by going to a brainwash camp. And I guess what led to it is I've been in and out of the program for a long time. I think the first meeting I went to, I was like 12 years old, which was completely unnecessary. But I was in this, I was not incarcerated, but I was locked up in this facility, and they were like, "Well, your son is potentially a drug addict." So I had gone in and out of the program, and I guess I was like living in my car in Hollywood, staying in different places.
Did you grow up in L.A. or?
No, I grew up in Texas.
Wow.
We've got to take a break. Sorry to cut you short. The number here is 877